Welcome to our next session of Profile Building Fair on building your resume. Same like building the portfolio, I think building resume is something that's really important and crucial to all of us as students and even as employees. You are more than a test score or a college application, and your life story cannot be captured in a 250-word essay or a two-page resume. So making a resume is an art in itself. And in this session with Pankti Chakravarti, learn the tips and tricks on how you can build a powerful resume and what are the necessary elements and details to be included when making a resume, especially for your college application. We have Pankti Chakravarti with us from the Resume Connect. Before we begin with the session, let me give you a quick overview of Pangdi. Pangdi, an alumni of Indian School of Business, started the Resume Connect in 2018 with a vision to help students, laterals, and CXOs through the journey of their careers. A certified mentor and coach, Pangdi is passionate about helping people identify their strengths and weaknesses and help build their own personal brand in their professional careers. She is a successful corporate professional herself with 9 years of industry experience in operations and supply chain, currently leading the India sourcing for steel commodity at Cummins India. Before we begin with the session on building your resume, I have a few reminders for you that this session, along with all the upcoming sessions, will be recorded and it will be uploaded on YouTube as a part of the profile building playlist. There will be a live Q&A session with Pangudi at the end of the webinar, wherein you can clear all your doubts and queries regarding resume building. You can start sending your questions from now on. And now it's over to you, Pangudi. Thank you so much for joining us and
Thanks,
welcome to
Ellen.
Next Year's webinars.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Ellen. This is a pleasure to be here today, and I'm very happy that I could get an opportunity to talk about the Resume Connect. So, good evening, everybody. The Resume Connect, as Ellen spoke about, was created 3 years back in 2018 with a vision to help all these students, the high school students, the college students, and laterals to help articulate a resume which actually is more than just a piece of paper. That's how we started the Resume Connect. I am a certified mentor, and I'm also a career counselor with close to 9 to 10 years of industry experience. I'm an alum of Indian School of Business, wherein I interact with a lot of aspirants to colleges in high schools, in their existing undergrad trying for a master's. And then I've helped them through their journey of college applications, writing their resumes, cover letters, essays, and SOPs. Right now, I'm working with Accenture as Global Strategy and Consulting Manager. And I used to lead the India sheet metal business for Cummins before this. Today we will be talking more with respect to high school students. So as somebody who's in their +2, what do you need, to accelerate in your career at this point in time, right? So I think the first and foremost priority is to get the college shortlists, the dream college that you have actually chalked out for you, and then have the number one priorities in place for all the colleges through the different programs. Once you have the shortlist, that's not where the story ends, right? You've got to convert those shortlists to admits. And that is where the trick of the resume stands, and the trick of the essays and applications stands. That is what makes the difference between an admit and just a shortlist. Now, once you are admitted to the college of your choice, and through the years of the curriculum and the course program length, after that, it's also very important whether you want to secure a job, whether you want to start your own startup. It becomes very important how you transition your career, and transition your career from being a student to being a successful professional, whether it be in the field of entrepreneurship or whether it be in the field of working in a corporate. So that is where we come into picture, right? So this is how we can help you. First and foremost, resume and profile building. profile building is not something that happens overnight. It happens through a period of time. It is a journey, right? And that is where the Resume Connect helps you build a profile that you can take to places through your college and jobs. Ours is the only platform in India to provide customized solutions specific to each student. An aptly articulated resume can actually take you places. It's not just about writing your achievements on a piece of paper or multiple pieces of paper. It's about articulating a story, articulating what you have, what is the skill set that you bring on the table. That is where we come into picture. What we also do is essays and SOP. This is very much specific to the high school students, apply to colleges in India and abroad. And it also applies to the undergrad and graduate students who are trying for masters in different universities across the globe, right? So this is again very important because essays are not just about your achievements. Essays are not just about what you bring to the table. It's not just about the intelligence that you have. It is about your story. And the Resume Connect, we help you weave it beautifully to create an apt fit of your candidature into the college of your choice. Next up is mock interviews. These are very, very important, whether it be cracking colleges, whether it be cracking job interviews, whether it be cracking scholarship interviews. This is very important. And as I said, that journey from securing a shortlist to securing an admit, that is absolutely critical. And I think the conversion ratio, if you look at for all these elite colleges, whether it be in STEM or non-STEM curriculums, it's hardly 1 in 100 or 1 in 200 that are the students who are able to convert the shortlist into the admits. So it becomes very important wherein we help with the mock interviews of the students, help them prepare, help them groom themselves, help them be and be the best. And last but not the least, career counseling. This is something which is very important at all points in time of the career for everybody. And this is important not just from a professional standpoint, wherein you talk about your skill sets, you talk about the roles you want to apply for, you talk about the courses you want to apply for, but it is also very, very important on the softer aspect of things, on how you develop yourself, how you groom yourself individually as a professional. What are the value systems you develop for yourself? How do you manage a team? How do you develop yourself as a leader? So that is something which is very, very important. And that is where we can help you. In terms of what we have to offer, and this is the website which you can visit at all points in time, the resumeconnect.live. We work for building your profiles through resumes and CV, work on essays and SOPs for college admission applicants, both for high school students and for the undergrad and grad students. We work definitely on the scholarship essays. That is a very, very big piece and an important piece. Then mock interview preparations that I was talking about just a while back, wherein we build that comfort level for all the candidates so that you're very comfortable speaking to panelists and be comfortable in uncertain situations in an interview. Mentoring and coaching, as I said, it's absolutely important in a career through the entire journey of the career at all stages. What we also do is help companies, specifically the startups and the MSME companies, the small scale companies, right? Help them prepare their presentations for the company, client pitch books, so that they can ensure that they relatively pitch their products to the customers, to the clients, and that can help increase the revenue. So these are the services that we offer at this point in time. And that's all from my side as far as the Resume Connect is concerned. Helen, the way I would like to take up is, I would like to talk more about the resume, and if people have questions on, how to build a resume, what are the do's and do nots, I'll be happy to take it.
Thank you so much, Pangadi. Yes, we do have questions coming up on how to build the resume. Like, firstly, we have got a question on during profile building also. And in all the sessions, everyone talked about how to stand out and how to be unique when you build your profile or when creating a portfolio. But students are not really sure how can they possibly do that. Do they have to talk about how they stand out or how they are unique in their extracurricular activities or any activity that where they can show their commitment? So what are you exactly looking at when you say that students have to be unique or have to stand out when creating their resume or portfolio?
Right. So being unique or being able to stand out is not about somebody having an extracurricular activity. No, it's about you as a person, you as a personality. Okay. What do you bring to the table? I might not do anything apart from academics, but then I have a certain perspective in my mind, which is great and which adds a lot of value to the cohort or to the any class that I go to. So that is where you stand out. And that is what you need to talk through and make the interview panel or make any college understand on what is the different value you bring to the table, right?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pangdi. What are the important elements that a resume should include?
Important elements, as I said, it does not matter whether you won the first prize in class second or a first prize in class 10. It's about the skill set that you bring to the table. Okay. For example, I might have won several accolades through my schooling, but then if I'm great at maths, what I would definitely include in my resume is that I have a very analytical mind or I have a very mathematical mind wherein I can analyze and crunch numbers, right? So these are the kind of skill sets you bring to the table. So you achievements are good to have, but skill sets are must have on your resume. Okay.
That's right. And when can students actually build and improve their resumes? From what age or from what grades specifically?
Right. So you build your profile and you make your resume. That's the difference. Okay. A resume is practically or typically needed when you start applying for colleges after your high school. So that's when you start making your resumes. And one word that I really want to tell to everybody, ensure and make sure that you have more than 20, 30, 40, 50, as much as you need iterations of your resume, right? Till it brings out the best in you and till it represents what you exactly are, right? But
Yeah.
resume is when you need it for a college application, but profile you start building from a very early age, right? So I might be in class 8, but then I might start in understanding what I really need in my life, what I really want to do in my life, what am I passionate about, and start working around it. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Pangudi. Now we have some repeated questions like it's about from which grade do students have to mention, like when they are giving their university, when they are submitting their resume for universities or for college applications, from which grade do they count the achievements, like from grade 8, 10, from which grade do they have to mention the achievements?
Right. So, as I said, so there's a difference between a CV and a resume. A CV essentially talks about, the grades that you have acquired in the chronological order through all your classes, but a resume is not that. Okay, a resume only marks significant achievements. So, for example, if you're in class 12th, you might only want to mention what did you achieve in a class 10th, or is there say an NTPC accolade that you got, or a gold medal at a national level that you got, right? You don't have to really mention I won maths Olympiad in 7, 6, 8. No, it is not like that. Okay. It's essentially a summary of things that you're trying to portray.
Yeah. We have another question, which is, what do you think, including the small courses that we have participated during our high school, where we have learned like critical thinking, solving, and other skill sets, should it be something that we can add in the resumes and be a part of the resume?
Right. So, absolutely. I'll give you a practical example. I was just helping a student with a resume just before this webinar. And, the student had actually written that she was great she was great doing treasure hunts. And then she actually wrote that I've won treasure hunt for XYZ in class 10th, in class 9th, class 8th. No, you don't have to write that. But what you can do, you can pick out the qualities that you picked up from the treasure hunt. For example, awareness of the situation, presence of mind, and then you can write that as the skill sets that you have. Okay, so you don't have to mention every single accolade, but you can mention the, as you mentioned, problem solving and logical thinking capability that you picked up.
Great. When creating a resume, what are all the things that must not be included? Because some websites and some resources say that we are not supposed to include the photograph, and we are not supposed to mention our hobbies. So what, according to you, are not supposed to be mentioned when creating a resume?
Right. So a resume never takes a reference of something else, but a CV does. So never mention, never reference anything else and any external reference. Okay. Never mention your home address. It is irrelevant. Please, unless specified by a college, right? That you have to mention that in your resume. Please do not mention it. It is absolutely irrelevant. Do not mention the grades of each of the classes till now, as I was telling you, right? Only talk about the very significant achievements of life that that summarize the skill and the quality that you bring to the table. Okay, so these are few of the major do nots that you should definitely not do.
Okay. Yeah, we had the same question. That is, what are the major do's and don'ts when creating a profile? Also, Pangudi, we have a lot of online websites which offers online courses right now. Like we have Coursera, we have Udemy, a lot of online courses and online websites. So, is it good if we take up free courses or certified courses from these websites? Is it good if we include these in our resume?
It's always good to include that in the resume. However, be very mindful that include those courses only when you have actually taken away something, because that might lead to a situation in the future wherein you might be cross-questioned on that in an interview or say in a discussion. And then if it just seems like a tick mark, don't put it. But if you think that that is something which has added value to your personality, which has added value to your profile, definitely put it.
Right. Thank you. Another question is, should resumes include school activities or competitions, or just those of national and state level achievements?
Right. So it's good to have national and state level achievements, but school activities and competitions also matter a lot. For example, I might write that, my communication or the way I understand and comprehend discussions has improved because I have participated in a lot of debate competitions in my school, and that has helped me hone my skills on public speaking. So you can, as I said, you can summarize and include those, but you don't have to say that I won a first prize in a debate competition, I won a second prize in a debate competition. Not necessary.
Okay. The next question is, it's not a question, but a student has asked if there is any way in which you can share a resume of a typical high school student so that the students will be able to understand what all are included and how descriptive it can be, just to know the model of a resume, if you'll be able to share some samples with the students.
Right, I'll be able to do that. Reach out to me on my email ID, which I have typed in the chat box, and I'll be happy to share a sample of a high school student. So I do a lot of high school student resumes. I'll be happy to share that.
So Pangudi had shared her mail ID with all of us, so you can reach out to her and she'll be able to share some sample resumes, and you can reach out to her to clear your doubts also. Now, do we have to provide some evidence for what has been mentioned on the resume? For example, the skills or the courses that we have done, will we be asked to provide the certificates or any proof for the same?
No, you will never be asked to do that, because as I said, that's the basic difference between a CV and a resume. A resume does not need validation from external references, okay? But a CV would need a lot of referencing and evidence that, evidence to support what you've written in the CV. So resume does not need that. It is just a summary of what you bring to the table, okay?
Yeah. I have heard that like when we are creating a resume, it's important to have a cover letter with it. So how relevant is it to have a cover letter with your resume?
Right. So, and this is more to do with jobs, I would say, because colleges and college applications do not necessarily call for a cover letter. So you have to be very specific when you apply to a certain college. But for jobs, actually, a while back, few years back, having a cover letter was was a good to have kind of a thing. But at this point in time, when you write to somebody who you're not known to, having a cover letter along with the resume is actually great. So unless asked not to send a cover letter, you should definitely include a cover letter along with your resume.
Thank you, Pangudi. And the question asked by Muskan is, what is the ideal size or how many pages should a resume have? Are long ones impressive or the short ones? What do admission officers or
Right.
colleges prefer?
This is very important. This is very important. Never, and specifically for high school students, do not exceed more than 2 pages at any point in time. Right? Resume. The whole point of sending or sharing a resume with somebody is the other person to read it. So for other person to read it, it needs to be crisp, it needs to be to the point, and it needs to send out the message without taking a lot of time for the other person. So never exceed more than 2 pages. 1 page is great. 2 pages if there is a lot that you want to write.
Thank you, Pangadi. So students also have some doubts regarding letter of recommendation that they have to uh, give or submit along with their resume. So, what are some of the things required in a typical letter of recommendation, and can they approach their teachers for it? Who who are the best people to provide a letter of recommendation?
So usually a letter of recommendation is so for high school students, it's preferred that you have somebody from your school and then somebody from outside the school, so that you also have an entire sphere of validation from people of coming from people differently placed, right? And things required in a typical letter of recommendation are actually structured in 2 ways. One that talks about your credibility in terms of how hardworking, intelligent, or what have you achieved in your acad life. And the second piece that validates your honesty, integrity, approach towards any problem or approach towards any situation in life. So there are two things that ideally should be required to cover in a letter of recommendation.
Great, Pangadi. Now, there's another question regarding internships. How helpful are the certificates of internships that students have done at the age of 13 or 14?
It depends on the type of internship. So and also it depends on how you weave it with your resume, right? So if an internship is more theoretical in nature, it might not really bring a lot of value, because that's not really a differentiating factor that you will be able to create if you do not really have a lot of in-depth knowledge about it, in-depth working knowledge about it. However, if you have done an internship which is more practical in nature, and then you can talk through it. So I've interacted with a lot of students who actually did stock market courses, and they have that practical knowledge of the share market and the stock market. So that is a very good pointer on your resume. But then if something is very theoretical in nature, not that relevant.
Thank you, Pangadi. So some students, this is also a repeated question. Some students have asked if they don't have any notable achievements that they could exhibit on their resume. What else can they talk about? What are the other things they could replace instead of achievements on their resume?
Right. So again, as I said, not everybody needs to have a lot of achievements on the resume. In fact, uh, uh, my own resume that I have not included even a single achievement, because that is not I want to showcase. I want to showcase what is the value I bring to the table. Okay. So if I don't have any achievement, that's fine. But I can still say that this is what I bring. This is the hard work, or this is the skill set that I bring to the table, and how I will be an apt fit for you in your college or in your job. So it's definitely not necessary.
Right. Let's take up the last question for the session. That is, what are some of the typical mistakes students do while building a resume, and how can that be avoided?
Typical mistakes that students make is, one, they write it too long. They start it in the chronological order. They start with, uh, initial, so they go from, they go reverse on the chronology, but always you should have the recent events earlier than the latter events. What they also do is they forget to mention uh, their entire objective. So resume should definitely talk about the mission, the vision that you have in life in terms of your career. People forget to mention that. It's very tactical in nature. Make it a long-term vision, even if it sounds a little unachievable at the moment. Okay, so these are few things and few very important things that people definitely miss out. So never miss out those.
Okay, we'll take one more question, which is, what all are important to have in your resume when you're getting into an Ivy League?
Can you come again?
What are the important elements that must be included in the resume when you are applying into Ivy League colleges?
I think it's important that you showcase the understanding of the courses, and then you showcase that you want how you are an apt fit for the courses that they have to offer. Because essentially, what happens is it's not just how deserving you are; it's also about your long-term and short-term career goals. So you have to tie all of those things in the resume so that it shows a great fit to the course structure. So for that, I think the point where you start is you research about the course very thoroughly, and then take pointers from what research you have done and include those in your resume.
Thank you so much, Pangadi, for taking up so many questions in such a short period of time, and also giving us an overview of the Resume Connect. We were really delighted to have you here with us. Uh, Once again, thank you. We have a few questions coming up. If you can stay online and if you can type the answers out, it would be really great. We have some 8 to 9 questions that have come up. So if you feel any of them are relevant and if you would like to answer them, you could just provide them with the answers. So once again, thank you. Any final piece of advice or
Thank you
comments
so
you
much.
have? Thank you. Any final?
My advice would be,
Yeah.
sorry. My advice would be start building your profile early on when you have clarity on what you want to do, and then a resume is something which is about you. It is your story. It is not a checklist. So that's my last piece of advice. And thank you so much, Helen, to have me here. I'm honored to be a part of this panel today.
Once again, thank you so much, Pangadi, and have a great day.